Hi there, and welcome to this bonus episode of the Gazette's Hockey Inside Out Show. I'm Stu Cowan of the Gazette, and I'm joined by former Canadiens teammates and 1986 Stanley Cup champions, Rick Green and Brian Skrudland, who's been kind enough to fill in this week for his buddy, Chris Nilan. You guys won the Cup in 86. You still have the rings to prove it. Canadiens only won one more Cup since then in 1993, since you guys paraded down St. Catherine Street. Brian, it's a long time ago, but what made that 86 team so successful? And are there any similarities maybe with this year's Canadiens team?
Well, that mix of veteran leadership, especially the fellas who'd won the cups, been down that road before, and here we were 8, 9, 10 rookies, just following every step that that our elder statesmen were leading us down. And boy, oh boy, when you got Larry and you've got Bob and you got Greeny and Mario and the list goes on, we could just follow, and that's exactly what we did. And you have to have that one big component, and his name was Patrick Waugh. Our goaltending was unbelievable, so that always gives you a chance to win, and we believed in one another. It just one shift, one game at a time. We just got better and better and better, and as time went along, I think Larry and Bob were having so much fun, and Greeny and the guys that had been down that road before was like, hey, we don't want this to end, and we sure didn't either. So what a thrill to get that Stanley Cup out of the way the rookie year, though. I couldn't imagine being Ray Bourque and playing all those years. And actually, at the end of my career, I was more inspired to not allow Ray Bourque to get a Stanley Cup because I was in Dallas and he was now in Colorado. So it was like, hey, man, sorry, I want one more too.
Rick, I mean, one similarity is all the young guys on the Canadiens this year too. But in '86, with so many young kids coming in, did you legitimately think like we have a chance to win the Stanley Cup?
What was fortunate for our group is, when you looked around and you looked at every guy in that dressing room that was to play that night, we knew exactly what we were going to get from him. We knew certain individual, Claude Lemieux was going to bring what he brought. We could go down the list where they got guys, even though we would be behind, we knew that they were going to find a way to rally and find a way to win. And it's quite scary, and it's a sense that maybe Screwy can relate to, obviously, also, is you have a feeling that something good is going to happen. And we had a group that, even though we didn't necessarily, dominate all the games, we had this underlying feeling that somebody in that room was going to make the difference on any given night. And that's exactly what happened. And you put as many winners in the dressing room as you can. You talk about the young guys. The young guys were quality young guys. That's the reason why they were part of the team, and they jumped on and did their part in contributing. And that's a classic example of group teamwork with chemistry and guys with their heart in the right place. And what souvenirs.
Brian, I know Knuckles read a bit of the riot act to you rookies that year, and I think part of his message was, don't count on Larry and don't count on the veteran guys. You guys got to pick it up. And how much of it was just you young guys not wanting to let these older guys down?
Oh, huge part, Stu. I think it was everything. They were our heroes. They were our mentors. They were the guys that had been down that road, knew how to win. My greatest story of all, and I think this just epitomizes what it takes to be a Montreal Canadien. But that first year, we got into the playoffs and beat Boston in the first round, and Mr. Blake, Toe Blake, came around the dressing room, and as he's shaking everybody's hand, and it came to me, and it was like, congratulations, congratulations. Then it came to me, and he says, you haven't won anything yet. Well, and then congratulations to the guy beside me. Well, hang on. And this went on, second round against Hartford, and said the same thing. Congratulations, you haven't won anything yet to me. Well, the third round, New York, and then we win the cup. Well, remember, this is my rookie season. So he comes around, and I was waiting to hear what the heck's Mr. Blake going to say now. Well, that's only one. Well, I'm one for one. So I think that was the epitome of what it took to be a Montreal Canadien. The expectations were, we're going to win this thing every year. and that's what we expect from you guys as well. So a great message, and something that I look back on fondly.
I love those stories about the old timers, Rick. And I mean, I know one of I think the best things that Jeff Gordon and Ken Hughes has done is bring your alumni guys back into the fold after you were sort of shut out a little bit by Marc Bergevin. But for you, your career got off to a rough start in Washington after being the number one overall pick on a horrible team. Get traded to the Canadiens, you win a Stanley Cup. Sitting in that locker room after it's done, what's that like?
Well, it was a huge relief for, obviously Ryan Walter and myself were, traded with four other guys that were key players of the Montreal Canadiens. And I always speak about, okay, we're going to Montreal. The fan base there is not like, are you going to make the playoffs? It's like, when is the cup coming? So, when it first happened, great for Washington. They made the playoffs, and then everybody was going, "Oh, what a brutal trade! We got beat out the first round by Buffalo." But we stuck to it. We found a way to keep focused, and what we wanted to do ultimately was to win the cup. And thank goodness it played out the way it did in '86. And when Ryan and I, we actually hugged each other in the dressing room afterwards, saying, "It's done. We did what we came here for." And description beyond what I could talk to you about, and the feelings that we had when it was all said and done.
Well, Brian, I'm so happy you were able to pinch hit for your buddy Knuckles this week. He's not here, so it's probably a good time. Maybe we can tell a couple of stories behind his back. He's not around to punch us in the head. Brian, do you have a favorite Knuckles story from your days with him that stands out that you can tell us?
Well, there's too many and a lot that I'm not able to tell, but at the same time, I gotta admit, I am just so proud of Chris, and how far he's come. I mean, uh, that was a bit of a rough road,
Mm-hmm.
and for a guy to bounce back and be the leader once again that he is and was, it's a thrill, and just I'm having more fun today, Stu, and I think he is as well, in the sense of just being able to enjoy every day. When we get on these trips, some of the comments. I mean, he's our coach, but some of the comments being, I can't even open the door to get out for my next shift because I'm laughing so hard. I mean, we're having more fun than we've ever had, but I've just really enjoyed Knuckles. I'm just really proud of everything that he's accomplished. I think that he's brought and helped out so many young athletes and people in general. We get on these tours, and he's talking to people all the time, and he's a busy guy. Yet he's got such compassion, and I've never met a human being with a bigger heart. So I'm just so happy for him and his beautiful wife that everything's going well.
But you just came back from a trip with the old timers there, Brian. I know Knuckles was there, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Maybe just tell the viewers a little bit about what that trip's like and what you guys do with the alumni on these trips.
Well, we'll go and it's the last time we hit a few First Nations places in Saskatchewan, and actually we had a busload of ex-NHLers and stopped at the crash site of the Humboldt Broncos, which was quite overwhelming for some of the players that were with us. They'd heard it, they'd seen it on TV. When you're there, it's really hard to visualize, to be honest with you. And while we were there, it was kind of a neat situation because all of a sudden a car pulled up. There was a gentleman from Toronto, Ontario. He does business all the time out west, and next thing you know, you hear, is that Stefan Richer? Oh, Chris Nilan? Oh my God, and he
Mhm.
Bernie Nichols. And so he goes on and he said, well, his daughter's last shift was a year before she'd retired from playing hockey, knew that dad came out all the time out west. So gave her dad her last roll of tape to bring out and put it at the memorial site. And so the stories go on. I mean, I'm sure he's going to share that story with a
Mhm.
lot of people moving forward, but it's a special group. We go out to the indigenous groups in northern Saskatchewan are doing absolutely fabulous. It's great to see the communities doing so well. The youth with so much opportunity. They are teaching trades. They are teaching whatever those kids want to do. They will not go without. They've got some of the most beautiful sporting facilities, both indoor and outdoor, and the leaders of some of the bands have just been fantastic. So I've really enjoyed helping those communities and getting out and making them aware of that we're just human beings too. We played in the NHL, but we're pretty down to earth people.
Well, Rick, I know you're still very close friends with Knuckles and doing the show with him every week. As Brian said, I mean, Knuckles is a role model for anybody who's battled substance abuse or whatever the way he's come back. His book, he wrote a book, Fighting Back, the Chris Nilan story, which is outstanding for anybody who hasn't read it yet. Just as a friend and a former teammate, what can you say about Knuckles while he's not here?
I'm just so happy. I was always concerned about when his career was done, how he was going to handle, life after hockey, and he had a tough go at it, and I was really worried that something bad was going to play out. But he, in his character, he identified the problem that he had. He addressed it, and he has found a way to right the ship. And big-hearted guy, you want to have on your side. He gives back to communities. He donates his time. Quality person. And I think he's really enjoying this whole opportunity and, exchanging with people and trying to help people that maybe have gone through some of the troubled spots that he went through. And, he's just a great guy to have as a friend, and I wish him very well. And I don't know if Mario Trombley can say the same thing about him after he found the toenail clippings in his snuff box. But, let's just, friends will be friends, and, stories will be stories.
Well, Brian, speaking of stories, one of my favorite stories from that 86 team, I told this on the show a little while ago. I don't know if you remember it. I remember buying you a beer in a little tavern or something on St. Catherine Street. It was about 1,000 degrees. You got out of the car. You were walking down looking to find somewhere to have a drink. You walked in. You didn't have your wallet. My buddy and I walked in and said, because you had your glasses on. You looked more like a professor than a hockey player. Nobody recognized you. And you were such a good guy. You actually sat down and had the beer with us, and then you went back and got in the car. Do you remember that one?
Stu, you know what? I broke my jaw in game 5. Once again, Jamie McCowan, the guy that was going the wrong way, he got me in game 5. So I wasn't able to thoroughly enjoy it. I had to get out of that car. I had to get, my head was just pounding. So anyway, I do remember that beer. I do remember about 30 of them that day, although I think I needed a straw, but I had so much fun that day. I walked down, and next thing you know, I just thought, shit, I'm not going to get back in my car. It hasn't moved but 5 feet in the last hour and a half. So I walked up to the front of the parade and was waving at Mr. Savard and the coaching staff, and I think it was Bob that said, recognized me. He said, look at that idiot down there in the crowd. So Serge looked, and there I was waving at them, giving them the thumbs up. So anyway, we had more fun back then. Yeah, Greedy, I could put the glasses on and hide pretty good back then.
Yeah, I remember. I think Mike Lawler, was your partner in the convertible, if I'm not mistaken, right?
He was partner in crime.
Yeah, I remember it was about 1,000 degrees that day. Great memories.
Oh, the old dirt! I'll tell you it really was, wasn't it, Stu?
Oh,
it was phenomenal.
It was. I'll never forget that day, and I remember having that beer with you. And it's so cool having you back again. Thanks so much, Brian, for hitting for Knuckles this week. I'm sure we're going to have you back again in the future. I'm hoping viewers out there enjoyed listening to your stories and your analysis of the Canadiens also. Anyway, that's it for this Hockey Inside Out Show bonus episode. We'll be back with our weekly Hockey Inside Out Show on Wednesday with Knuckles back in his regular seat. In the meantime, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Hockey Inside Out YouTube channel.